Ameris Bank Mortgage, NMLS 408099. Mike Jones's NMLS number is 315233. Ameris Bank Mortgage is a member FDIC and an equal housing lender. Applicants are subject to qualification requirements. Not all applicants will qualify. Rates and terms are subject to change at any time. Discussions are for information only and not a commitment to lend. Products may vary by company. Certain loans require mortgage insurance. Discuss all options with your Ameris Bank Mortgage loan originator.
From the studios of 97.3 The Sky, this is The Real Estate Show with Mike Jones from Ameris Bank Mortgage. You can email Mike at mike.jones@amerisbank.com. The number to call in is 877-WSKY-TALK. That's 877-975-9825. And now, here's your host, Mike the Mortgage Man.
Hey everyone, this is The Real Estate Show with your host, Mike the Mortgage Man with Ameris Bank Mortgage, and
Todd Lewis with Tommy Williams Homes, Gainesville's Green Builder.
And Tanya Chappell with Secure Investments Realty and Management.
wow.
Who is that?
Yeah, really. We'll have to talk to her. Each week we come on the air, we talk about all things real estate, whether that's buying a house, building a house, which is Todd's favorite, of course, right, Todd?
That's right, Mike.
Selling a home, and then, of course, mine is financing. You can call me anytime at the office, 352-339-7588, 352-339-7588, or you can email me anytime at mike.jones@amerisbank.com. That's AMERIS bank.com. Todd, what's your contact info?
Oh, the best way to find out about Tommy Williams Homes is to go on the interwebs to TommyWilliamsHomes.com. You can see our floor plans, you can see virtual tours, you can see our subdivisions. You can email me if you want at Todd@TommyWilliamsHomes.com.
Okay.
Or catch me on Facebook Live also.
Facebook, yes, you did a Facebook a couple of days ago.
I did. You know, it's been a ridiculously cold week here, and so I did a Facebook Live video on how to not have your irrigation pipes freeze when we get this freezing weather. So hopefully over the last couple of nights, nobody has had that happen. We're going to talk about that in case you missed it. I'm sure nobody missed my Facebook Live video. In case anybody did, I'll go over that real quick so that we can help, because we'll have more freezing nights for sure.
Okay, great. And in fact, I forwarded it on my Facebook feed, and a lot of people were IMing me or asking me how do I get those folks to come, and I'm like, I don't know, call Todd. He's the one who did the video. So
they want me to come and drain their irrigation pipe?
Yes, I think that's what they were saying.
Don't call me.
So anyways, as we talk about at the beginning of every show, we talk about interest rates just a little bit. So we're going to do a recap here. You can find this on the Wall Street Journal business page, the Market Data Center page in the Wall Street Journal. So the last information we have available, and please excuse me, I'm getting over a cold, January 2nd, 2018, for the 30-year loan, 3.91%, so about where it's been. Trended up a little bit towards the end of the year, and our 52-week moving average, 3.73 to 4.33%, so kind of right in the middle there. And then the 15-year national average in the Wall Street Journal, January 2nd, 2018, 3.36%. I went and saw a few videos, talked to a couple people, and information that we have, in the books for 2017 was that the 30-year conforming loan finished at an average rate of 3.99% that was compiled by Freddie Mac at the end of the year. And that was well below expectations of 4.5% at the beginning of the year. And now we're at the beginning of 2018, and the expectation is, hey, it's going to be on average 4.5% this year. We'll have to wait and see. We get around to this time next year to see what actually happens.
Is that really the prediction again this year?
Yes.
So last year at this time, they were predicting the average rate when we got to the end of the year would be 4.5%, and ended up being 3.99.
Right. It actually was the second lowest year in the history of, behind.
No kidding.
Yeah, behind 2016, I believe. So don't quote me on that, but that's what I remember reading anyways. So that's what it says. And then we'll go over a prediction for, what's going to happen this year, when it's going to happen, which is the key point, a little bit later in the show.
Oh, so this is going to be your prediction?
Well, no.
Your informed prediction.
My informed prediction from my market experts that I follow.
Excellent. But in general, they're saying 4.5% again?
Well, I can't go into that until we go to that part of the show.
Oh, it's going to be a surprise.
Yeah, so I was trying to be jumping ahead. Okay. So why don't you introduce our guest, Todd?
Yeah, so we have with us Tanya Chappell from Secure Investments Realty. And Tanya, thanks for being here. Happy New Year.
Hi, Todd and Mike. Happy New Year. Thanks for having me.
Tanya is a real estate investment strategist and a property manager. And she manages over 100 properties here in Gainesville area. Is that right?
Gainesville and the surrounding county. So we're not afraid of going out in the country.
That's good.
Yeah.
So we thought it'd be a nice time to bring you in and talk about right here at the beginning of the year. A lot of people are looking and making plans for the new year, and what we hear from a lot of people is they look into getting into investment,
Right.
and maybe it's a college town, and maybe doing rental properties and things like that. So if that's on somebody's to-do list for 2018, where do they start? Besides obviously reaching out to you, and how would they do that? First off, how would they reach out to you?
Okay, well, pick up the phone, call me, go to my website, secureinvestmentsrealty.com. We have a lot of information on our website. We've got videos on the website as well. But the question about how would an owner go about getting into investment property? Well, contact a good realtor first, or also talk to your property.
You don't just manage property.
Right.
You can actually help them find.
Exactly, right. I am a real estate broker, and I've been doing this for over 30 years. So you would want to talk to your realtor about what kind of price range you're looking to start investing in, and take a look at what the rental rates are in that price range and what neighborhoods might be best suited for that, and really kind of look at the numbers. Is it going to make sense? Is it going to rent and cover the mortgage? Are you going to be able to keep it rented? Are you going to be able to attract quality tenants to that type of property?
Oh, those are good checkpoints.
Yeah.
And so obviously it doesn't, like, do you have to kind of make sure, you said cover the mortgage, right? But
yeah,
I mean,
generally
is
you
it,
would like to at least cover the mortgage,
sure.
but with a little bit extra.
Okay, so that's what you're looking for. And so it's not just making that, a ton of money on the rent every month, as long as it's covering your expenses and maybe a little bit. And then I guess it's the accruing of
the equity appreciation, right? And you have somebody else in there paying down that principal and building equity in the property for you.
Okay, got it. Go ahead.
So, yes, but if you're going to do that, make sure you know what you're getting into. You definitely need to have an experienced person that knows about managing property. If you have experience doing it, that's great. But if you don't, there's a lot of pitfalls you can get into, a lot of legal problems. There's a lot of con artists out there. So you have to be really careful. You need to make sure that you know what you're doing. Real estate is a risky investment, but usually it pays off pretty well.
The long term.
Yeah, long term.
Yeah. So a lot of con artists.
Yeah, a lot of these days you have a lot of con artists on Craigslist. So like if you just put your property for rent on Craigslist, there's been a lot of scams where people will turn around and rent your house and sometimes even move somebody in there, collect money from these people, and they don't own the property. So
That doesn't happen here, though,
yes,
does it?
it does.
It does
It
happen
actually
here.
does, yeah.
Does it happen to you?
Yeah. Yes, I've had people try to, but thankfully the few people that has happened to, they were smart enough to go online, find my phone number, contact me, and verify that, are you really renting the house for this cheap? And the answer is usually no.
So somebody would just take your house, maybe get some pictures up there,
Pictures
and
off
put it
the
on
internet.
Craigslist and advertise it for rent,
Yes.
and then rent it.
Yes.
Wow,
That
is
has
a
happened
con.
quite a bit. FBI is very familiar with it, and there's a hotline for it and everything.
That's quite a con.
It is.
That's sad, isn't it? Wow.
It happens, and it is unfortunate because a lot of people just go ahead and get a cashier's check, money order, mail it off to the people, and not realize that they have no legal rights to be in the property.
Was the one that you have here locally, was there any way for them to be captured or followed up on, or it's all just through the internet? They're in Africa somewhere or some crazy country.
Yeah, I'm not really sure if the FBI has been really successful in tracking these people down or not. We don't really get much feedback like that, but it happens quite a bit. So that's just one of the things you want to be careful about. You also need to be careful once you, in selecting the tenants and making sure the home's prepared so that you do attract good tenants. It's very difficult to manage property if you have unhappy tenants. So you've got to be careful in the selection. It all begins with the selection of the house, making sure it's in good condition, and then doing a great job on screening the tenants, and then managing them while they're there.
Which is something that you do for all of your 100+ properties.
We do. One of the really important things that we do, we're doing right now, and that is looking ahead to the next year. We're in what I might call our renewal season. So we're looking at all of the leases that we have and at the homes and seeing if we can increase those rents. And rents have increased quite a bit because, as you guys know, there's a little bit of a shortage of some of your medium income or medium priced homes for sale. So a lot of people are being driven into the rental market. So that
drives
is
demand
driving.
for the rental market, which drives.
Right, driving the price up a little bit.
Now, do you do that as with the properties you manage? Do you kind of talk to your homeowners about raising rents or get them the most that they can get in the market, or is that up to them to initiate it?
Well, we definitely do that. So we look at it first. We review all the leases. We start about 5 months in advance, reviewing all the lease rates, looking at each property to see if we can increase the rents, contacting the homeowners to get on board with that. And thankfully, sometimes we have homeowners that are very generous, and they're like, I've got great tenants. I'm just going to go ahead and let them stay at the same rate. But we do want to do our job and let them know what they can get so they can maximize their income. And then we start asking those tenants, sometimes, depending on where the location of the property is, we may ask them 5 months in advance, but at least 3 months in advance. We need to know what their plans are so that we can start preparing that property to either find a new tenant or to renew that lease.
That's a lot to keep track of, and that's kind of where you are in the season right now.
It is. And the other thing that we would look at is what kind of upgrades maybe we could do. You might be able to change out a vanity, upgrade countertops or something like that, and tweak the rent and get another $50 a month out of the property. And so right now is the time to be planning for that, for what you want to do with your rental properties so that you can be ready whenever it's time to put it on the market and maybe capture a little bit more rent.
Excellent. Is it the same thing as it is for housing, where there's sometimes multiple offers? I'm sure when you put a house on the market for rent, there may be, 5 people trying to rent it, 10 people?
Sometimes, not quite that many usually, but our application process is all online. And so when somebody wants to rent a property, they go right onto our website. They can view a video of the property, pictures, all the application process is there. And they just click on the application, they fill it out, we get an email, and we start processing it. So we kind of work with first come, first serve. We look at if their criteria meets what it needs to be on paper before we go into the credit check and rental reference process and the criminal background checks and stuff like that. So if we get another application...
That would preclude you from renting from us. I saw your wheels spinning.
Hey,
You're like, damn.
I paid my debt to society.
Yes. And now society is paying their debt. Having to listen to us every week. So it sounds like if people are, and it's January, so they might be getting ready to rent something, or it seems like a good time. So it's kind of they should just go to, what's the website again?
It is www.secureinvestmentsrealty.com.
Secureinvestmentsrealty.com, and then they can just click on something to see if they're a renter looking to rent something this year. They click on.
Yeah, they can look at, they can click on a house and see the pictures and videos of the homes. If you're an owner looking to find out about our services, we have very helpful videos that explain the services, including going over the fees and what type of inspections we perform and how regularly that's done, and everything's very much covered on the website.
So if I'm a renter, I can go to your website and see videos of the homes that you have?
Videos of the home, yep. You can see a video,
really
a
great.
tutorial.
I don't mean to sound so astounded at the idea of moving pictures. But no, that's really cool.
Yeah, it really helps.
2018, Todd.
Especially for rental properties.
It helps so much. I'm not really sure why everybody doesn't do it. Pictures
I thought it was still
are worth
2017.
1,000 words.
It just
but
happened.
Video's definitely better.
Yeah, that's great. All
It
right.
cuts down on the amount of activity in and out of the home, and you tend to rent the properties a lot quicker.
Okay. Well, we got to take a quick break. When we come back on the second half of the show, I don't know if we're going to have time for as much action as we have to pack into the next 15 minutes. We've got to get to our predictions for interest rates and appreciation rate. What's your house going to be worth this time next year? How much, if you own a home, are you going to make this year? I'll make that prediction. And Tanya, can you stick around?
Sure,
So
definitely.
I want to talk about what people are doing in their homes now to maybe get ready for that turnover in terms of projects. Or what's the best thing to be thinking about now in terms of larger, getting their home freshened up and ready to do that.
Sure.
So we're going to take a quick break. You're listening to The Real Estate Show with Mike and Todd and Tanya, and we'll be right back.
Tommy Williams Homes is Gainesville's green builder. In the market for a new home, call Tommy Williams Homes at 352-335-4140. Now building in Oakmont near Hale Plantation and Finley Woods near 34th Street and Wilston Road. And now featuring Gainesville's shortest new commute to UF, Shands, and the VA Hospital. Starting from the low 200s, every Tommy Williams home includes solar power standard. Call Tommy Williams Homes today at 352-335-4140. Tommy Williams Homes is Gainesville's green builder.
House is a very, very, very fine house.
Welcome back, everyone. This is Mike, the Mortgage Man with Ameris Bank Mortgage, and this is the Real Estate Show. And we have our guest today, which is a local expert talking about property management. And Tanya, you're talking. How do you pronounce your last name? Because there was some confusion about
Chappell.
Chappell. No, it's actually Chapel.
So the name of your company again, your website?
It's secureinvestmentsrealty.com. So the name of the company is Secure Investments Realty and Management, and that's the website, secureinvestmentsrealty.com.
Excellent. And you can see moving pictures.
Moving pictures, yes.
Of all the houses
videos.
she has for rent.
Yeah,
Which
of houses for
think
rent,
that's cool.
of what type of services that we offer, all of that good stuff.
It makes me want to go buy a rental property just so that you can.
Well, you help you find the
website.
perfect one.
I'll bet you can. Because that's a good point. If somebody kind of missed the early part, you don't just manage properties. You can help people find the perfect one. You do that too.
I do. I do that too. I help them look at the rental rates for the different properties that they're considering purchasing, and helping them, to decide whether that's going to meet their needs, and also whether that's the kind of home that's going to stay rented on a regular basis. And speaking of that, one of the things that also tends to happen right now is people are thinking about putting their house up for rent, or maybe or for sales, and maybe they have had their home up for sale for a while and it hasn't sold. And so a lot of times what happens is people will start considering, well, maybe I can rent that property until the sales market improves for that particular type of home. And so then they'll come to us, and I can tell them how much the property would rent for, and then they can make that decision. Okay, should I rent? Should I sell it? And so right now is the time for all of that to happen, because the spring season happens quick. And so you want to be prepared so that you can get in there and get the property ready for whichever way you want to go.
And so part of that process is, okay, so you've got an idea that, okay, I'm not sure, I may want to rent, and then you can obviously evaluate that situation for them, and also tell them, okay, the season's, like you said, the season's coming up. Here's what you'd want to do to get the home ready to put on the rental market.
Right, or to put
And
on the
now's the
sales
time
market.
to do it,
right?
or the sales market,
Yeah.
right. And now's the time to do those projects.
It is, because sometimes it takes a little while to coordinate and to find the right vendors. You don't want to wait until the busy season of June and July to try and struggle and get vendors in there to get the property ready. So
Because
now's
they're
the
spread
time.
thin, everybody's
Yeah,
calling on them.
busy
That's a great
town.
point. That's a
Yeah.
great point. Get it. That's a really great point. Get it done now before everybody gets so busy, because that
And the
really
prices go
happens
up.
in
Yeah,
Gainesville.
it
The
does.
prices go up, the service goes down,
Sometimes.
and the length of time it takes to get people out to do stuff takes longer. It just does.
Right.
There's too much more work than they can.
And that's
keep
another
up with.
benefit of working with an experienced property manager. I've been doing property management in Gainesville for 30 years, so I have a lot of vendors that are loyal and do very good work, and we generally get a discount on the hourly rate because I give them a bulk amount of work. So if you're just an individual owner, you may not have access to the vendors that I have, and to be able to have the quality vendor come in and do the work. You might get stuck with somebody that needs the work, and that's probably not who you want.
Right. So what is the number one thing that somebody should do to improve their rental property, like the repair or upgrade or freshening? What would you say?
Well, let's see. Floors, walls are very important. So new carpet, fresh paint, if that's what's needed. Also sprucing up the outside, mulch, a few plants, very inexpensive, and definitely helps with that first impression. Light fixtures, vanities, that kind of thing.
Okay, but just a total rehab of the kitchen is not necessary then in a rental
Not
property.
usually. A lot of times we can do some nice things with cabinets. Lately, for the last couple of years, I tend to have created a niche for doing a little mini turnovers. So I'll go into the property, let them know everything I think that
I
they
love
can
mini
do.
turnovers, by the way.
Yeah.
Got 'em at,
Like a pop over.
Oh, I love mini turnovers.
But let them know
Cup
what
of
they
coffee
can
and a
do.
mini turnover.
to,
Upper crust has the best
Oh.
mini turnovers. Oh man,
Is that a plug?
yes,
Actually, they do right over here. They have great.
the best mini turnovers.
Yeah.
Anyway,
But anyway,
second
yes.
best to yours. So, what's a mini turnover?
Mini turnovers where I'll go in and advise them on the things that they can do to turn the property over, as far as then maybe replacing carpet, doing fresh paint, like I said, some light fixtures, a little bit of landscaping, helping pick out colors, coordinating those kind of things, and usually being able to increase the rent by $100, $200 per month.
Right. That's great. It sounds similar to when you're reselling property too. If
Yeah.
you've got the right agent who can kind of advise you on, like, do this because it's a good return, right?
Yes.
So do the things that bring the most bang for the buck, like
Right.
you said.
Right.
And I like that, a mini turnover.
Mini turnover.
Sounds good.
And it makes me hungry.
This is the real estate show where with Todd and Mike, and we're talking with Tanya, and we're talking about investment property. But one of the things you've mentioned that you didn't touch on now was you also counsel your investors on maybe when is the best time to sell the property if they've owned it for a long time, right? And they want to cash out and move on to something else.
Yes, so as I was mentioning, during renewal time, we're going to be looking at the rental rates, and that's the time for the owners to kind of take a look at that property to see how it's been performing, whether that's a property they might need to let go or whether it's a property they need to do a little mini renovation on. And then if they wanted to put it on the sales market, then of course we can handle that too. So far I have sold every property that I have listed since I opened my company 5 years ago. So the owners that we manage property for, after we've managed their property for a while, if they need us to sell them, then we can handle that as well.
It sounds like you're just good at meeting people's goals.
I just really like what I do. I've been doing property management and working in real estate since I was 16. Got my real estate license when I was 18. So I've been in the business in Gainesville now for 30 years.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
some good experience to have behind you.
That is good. And what's the website again?
www.secureinvestments with an S realty.com.
SecureInvestmentsRealty.com.
Yes.
Go there and get a free mini turnover. Great. So earlier in the show, we were talking about some of the things. Now, it looks like we're past the hard freezes, at least for the time being. They might come back. Realty.com.
Yes.
Go there and get a free mini turnover. Great. So earlier in the show, we were talking about some of the things. Now, it looks like we're past the hard freezes, at least for the time being. They might come back, later in the week.
Hopefully
Good
never.
for now, right?
Never.
Hopefully never.
Yeah.
But if you have a house, I'll just real quick. If you have a house in Gainesville, probably Ocala, I'm not sure, but in Gainesville, and it was built, let's say, from 1990 or newer, there's a really good chance that it's going to have what's called an above-ground backflow preventer for your irrigation. Basically, go out and look on the side of your home or the side of your garage for 2 PVC pipes sticking out of the ground. They could be white, they could be gray. They're going to be within about a foot of each other, sticking up anywhere from a foot to 18 inches to 2 feet out of the ground. And they'll be connected at the top of these 2 PVC pipes with a small round housing that's plastic. And when we have freezes in the winter, the water that's in there freezes, expands, and cracks. You have a geyser, and on average, it's about $150 repair, plus thousands of gallons that are flooding out until you come home from work or your neighbor calls you and tells you that you have, Old Faithful in your backyard.
Right.
Yeah, I think I
right.
told the story the last time we talked about this maybe a month or so ago that it actually happened to me. So, a number of years ago.
Yeah,
and I
you
said,
came
who was the
down
idiot watering their yard? And I realized that I was the idiot because
No
the
surprise.
street was flooded because
Right.
of my backflow valve had
Yeah.
ruptured.
Yep.
Yeah, we actually send out mass emails to our tenants whenever it's freezing temperatures and give them all kind of tips on what to do to secure the property to make sure we don't have any bursting pipes or dead plants, that kind of thing.
Yep. Good. Well, hopefully, it's just, the first week of January, we'll probably have some more freezing weather, but at least the worst of it was behind us, at least for the time being. But we are at the beginning of the year, and so we are going to talk about some predictions for the new year. Is that right?
Yeah, but before that, I want 2 announcements here. One is if you bought a house last year in 2017, it's your primary residence, don't forget to file for homestead because we usually have some people that forget. So if you're in Alachua County, 515 North Main Street, go in and see the property appraiser. It only takes a couple of minutes to file your homestead. It'll save you at least $750, maybe $1,000 for homestead. And then I know that the show reaches
Per year.
Per year, and you only have to do it once.
If you don't do this, you will cost yourself upwards of $1,000 every year.
Right, and it usually happens to a few people every year, unfortunately. But I call every one of my customers and don't forget to file. I send them the form. I mean, it couldn't be any easier. So you got to go in person.
If you're not sure what we're talking about, don't take chances. You can email Mike at mike.jones@amerisbank.com, and he'll tell you what to do.
Right, it's in the county you live in, obviously, but you only have until the end of February to do this for 2018. So that's one thing. And then one correction, we talked about the tax bill a couple of weeks ago before it became law that, if you sold your house, that it was changing from 2 of the last 5 years. That's what the current law was. It was going to 5 of the last 8 years in both the bills. But when it finally got done and passed and finished, they reverted back to 2 of the last 5 years. So if you lived in your current house and you sell it and you've lived there 2 of the last 5 years as your primary residence, you don't have to pay capital gains on it, because that was one of the things that was in the tax bill that we had talked about.
Okay.
So they actually kept the current law what it was. So
2 of the last 5.
right, as opposed to 5 of the last 8, which was what they were proposing that it go to.
Oh, good.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that didn't harm the consumer.
Oh, excellent. And it won't prevent people from selling their homes
Right.
and having to pay a lot of money.
That's what we were talking about.
Excellent.
Right?
Good,
Yeah.
good, good.
So that was good news.
So sell your home and buy a Tommy Williams green home in 2018.
Or call Tanya and rent.
Call Tanya. There you
Or if
go.
you have been renting it, move back into it for a couple of years so you can get
There you go.
That's true. Very true.
right.
We got you covered.
Skip those capital gains taxes.
That's right.
So what's the prediction, Todd, you think, for appreciation for this year? And I know we don't have the final numbers yet for last year, for 2017, but it was pretty robust.
It was, and we're going to talk about the year-end stats here coming up in a couple of weeks, and talk about what went up and what segments of the market performed the best, and what segments of the market we predict perform the best in the coming years based on supply and demand. But my prediction for this year is about 4.25% appreciation this year.
1 1/8, okay.
4.25.
Oh, 4 1/4.
4 1/4. Yes. Is that? Do you think in fractions?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my
Sorry.
wildest fraction.
4 1/4 appreciation. So in other words, if you have a home right now that's worth $300,000, I predict that by this time next year, when we're on the air of that home, you will have made $12,750 in the next 12 months. That's $1,000 a month.
Pretty impressive.
That is impressive.
$1,000 for
Yes.
doing nothing,
Right.
paying your bills and living, and
Right.
yeah.
I thought Gainesville on average had about a 5% annual appreciation.
Well, it's different every year.
Yeah.
Within the last 5 years, we've had double-digit appreciation.
Right.
Within the last 10 years, we've had double-digit depreciation.
Right.
Right.
And then averaged out.
That's right. Yep.
Yeah.
So the national average historically is about 3 to 3.5%. If you look over the long term, like 80 years, Gainesville has outperformed the national average.
Definitely. It's a great little town.
Yep. So what's your prediction for interest rates?
So our prediction on interest rates, calling my local expert and speaking to him directly today, is the 10-year Treasury note we've talked about a lot, averaged 2.326% for all of last year. And right now, so that we're expecting at least a 3/8 to a 0.5 point rise in interest rates. So for around a little under 4%, it's going to be about 4.5. That's what we talked about
By the end of the year.
By the end of the year. So most of the movement will be from July through the end of the year, because that's when a lot of the tax implications that were passed in the tax bill will actually come into being.
So
I think
if
we're-
you're looking to refinance or buy, the first part of the year is maybe a better idea. Interest rates may go up a little bit later in the year.
That's right. All right, well, this has been the Real Estate Show. Thanks so much, everyone, for listening again this week, and go out and buy a piece of property.
Happy
Thank
New
you.
Year.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Tanya.
Happy New Year.
Ameris Bank Mortgage, NMLS 408099. Mike Jones's NMLS number is 315233. Ameris Bank Mortgage is a member FDIC and an equal housing lender. Applicants are subject to qualification requirements. Not all applicants will qualify. Rates and terms are subject to change at any time. Discussions are for information only and not a commitment to lend. Products may vary by company. Certain loans require mortgage insurance. Discuss all options with your Ameris Bank Mortgage loan originator.